Welcome to the non-league show with myself, OliB. Delighted to be joined by the man himself. He's actually played a quarter-final of an FA Cup for Lincoln, Jono Margetts. How are we, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate.
Good to see you, pal.
Nice to see you, pal. How we been, firstly?
Good, mate. Good. Trying not melt in this weather today, mate. But yeah, all good, mate.
Well, I haven't had the best start at the day, to be fair. I've left you waiting because I'm not very good with technology, as you can probably see. So I've gone, obviously, I can't find my memory card. I've shot to other place, not there, and then I've gone to Asda and I've left you a bit waiting, mate, so I do apologise.
Mate, we're here now, aren't we?
So, how you finding to eat?
I love the heat. I'm alright until it's bedtime and then just rolling around trying to sleep. But yeah, no, I love the sun, mate. I'm a sun baby, yeah.
So obviously you sent some pre-seasons in Austria and stuff like that. Was that just as warm?
Yeah, I've had a couple with like Hull, Scunthorpe and that, yeah. So it's it's tough out there, especially some of the pre-seasons we had. The one in Austria was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, like running like round lakes and round tracks and that out there. So yeah, a few tough ones.
Brilliant. So I want to go right to the start. Jono, obviously, I know you spent a lot of time at Hull, but I want to go even further back to obviously grassroots. Do you want to quickly start about where you started?
Yeah, so I was always playing an age group above.
Right.
So I started at Edenthorpe, like the local team. I was playing for the age group above, and then it got to when they moved into year 7, they went to 11-a-side, and I was still year 6, which was like 8-a-side, and I wasn't allowed to play with them.
Right.
So I had to go, and that was when I left Edenthorpe Panthers and went to Sprotborough.
Right.
So I had a season at Sprotborough. That was year 6. I don't know what age that had been, under 9s, maybe something like that. And then that's when I got picked up by Hull. So that was, I never played 11-a-side Sunday League. It was always 7-8-a-side, and then the year it turned to 11-a-side was when I signed at Hull.
Jeez, so you've never really experienced playing like kind of grassroots football, have you? At like an 11-a-side men's level?
No, we played obviously. Yeah, we played school and stuff like that. Yeah. But no, not Sunday League. No, I just played like 8-a-side. It was.
So you were kind of thrown straight in the deep end in some way, obviously going straight to obviously Hull. A big part of Hull's youth team. I remember watching a few clips the other day. I think you got an hat-trick at one point. I can't remember against who it was, but how would you kind of examine your time at Hull? Because obviously you spent a long time there, didn't you? Yeah,
it was good in terms of through the academy. I was lucky. I had some really good coaches, and they taught me a lot. And even into my youth team coach was brilliant. I learnt loads. I think it was just wrong timing when I came through. When we sort of got into the youth team, that just got promoted into the Premier League, and I did 3 years there as a pro. And we was just in that transition phase where we was in the Premier League. They were spending 15-20 million pound on strikers. So as a young lad, I don't think anyone really broke into the team at that point. And then it was only the year I left that got relegated, and all the young lads were starting getting a chance then. So it wasn't just myself. There was probably 6 or 7 other lads just in my time there who should have really sort of gone on to play for the first team, and they're all doing well now. They've all got good careers and stuff. It was just a timing thing. There was just sort of not really a pathway through for the young lads.
I remember obviously last week we had Joe Leasley on, and we were speaking about yourself, and he kind of said you were kind of the best of the batch that came out of Donny. So obviously you had the likes of himself. Obviously the kind of lads that you hang around with that are playing obviously high level at football, and he kind of said you were the best of the batch that was from Donny. So do you reckon if it, like you said, if it were a few years later and obviously Hull were in League One or the Championship, do you reckon you'd had more of a chance of pushing on?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was when I left Hull, I actually spoke with Steve Bruce's agent, because he rang his agent and said, look, we've just released a lad, but he'll have a good career. So he was wrong, wasn't he? But no, he just said, look, sign him, he'll do well. He should have really played here at Hull, but it was just a timing thing that we didn't. But yeah, it was tough. We had, obviously, because we was in the sort of Premier League, we wasn't getting a chance, but the lads who were like at Doncaster, for example, who I was looking at and going, I think I'm better than them. They were playing League One every week for Doncaster or for other clubs, and it sort of went the other way. Then I dropped down from Hull and they sort of picked up. So it's football, isn't it? That's just sort of how it works. I think maybe if I'd have been at a different club, I wouldn't have been as good, younger. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to work with good coaches. So I don't know, it's just the way it works, I think.
So obviously you were there when Hull were kind of in the, do you know what I mean, they're in the Prem. You were obviously under Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce, obviously the gaffer there at the time. Did you actually have any like I don't know, experiences with Steve Bruce? Obviously he's a top manager, obviously been at Newcastle as well. Obviously you were in the youth squad there, but did you kind of have any moments where you were up there training with himself? And
yeah, my sort of first year and second year pro, we were training at the same training ground. So we had the sort of 23s were training at the separate, sort of on the separate pitch. But it was every so often, so it was sort of me and a couple other lads who were sort of the sort of more like sort of dominant ones in the team, the 23s. We'd go over and train a little bit more, but even that, it was probably once every week, every 2 weeks. It wasn't as much as it should have been. I think that the lads we had, the quality we had in the 23s, I think they should have been involved a lot more, but again, they had such a big squad because we was bringing in players. They had a sort of 24, 25 man squad, so they didn't need any more players. That was a difficult thing. But yeah, no, he was always okay with me, Steve. When I spoke to him, he was always polite, and he wouldn't go out his way to speak to you, but if you ever spoke with him, he would be okay. Yeah.
Overall, would you say you enjoyed your time at Hull?
Yeah, I did. I think my youth team was probably the funniest 2 years of my life, and probably the best. The best. Them 2 and my 3 years as a pro, we were just like big kids, just training with each other day in, day out. And yeah, it was. I think the last year when I was sort of third year pro, I didn't enjoy it because I just felt like I was a bit of a sort of cooped up hen, just ready to go and sort of make a career, and I felt like I was being held back a little bit in the 23s. But yeah, the 2 years youth team, the stories and the lads, I still speak to a lot of them now. We're just sort of friends for life. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Any specific characters that you'd like to mention from that time there?
God, it was crazy. Our youth team, we had when my first year youth team, we wasn't actually very good as a team because the whole team always won the youth team league. We was always the best team in our sort of league. And then my first year, we was rubbish. I think we came like 5th, and it was unheard of for them. But like, it was the funniest year we had. We was just taking the piss out of each other every day. Lads had, as soon as we finished training, lads would sprint in from training because if you didn't, your gear would be like tied up to the wall or put in a shower or whatever. Like, I think we played Chesterfield one day on a Saturday, and on the Friday, the like fire inspectors come in to check everything's all right with the thing. And he's looked and all the fire extinguisher was empty, like, because we'd just been every day after training, we'd come in, one of them would just take it to the thing and just spray everyone with foam, and everyone would just be covered in foam. And then we was out running, doing like a 12-minute run on a Friday evening because the gaffer went absolutely ballistic at it.
Ami is about it.
Yeah, it went mad, went absolutely mad, And then we conceded 90th minute next day and got beat 1-0 because everyone could run. So, but yeah, it was brilliant. We had such a good laugh. So
obviously, you kind of in some way grew up with them lads because what age group did you go into all that?
Under 10s.
So then you were 10. You were there from 10s up to
21. I left,
so you pretty much grew up with like the majority of lads, because I bet it were the same crop of lads when it going up, or did it kind of narrow out as you went up?
Yeah, there wasn't many. From when each year it was sort of the ones who I was with would go, and then new lot would come in. And from when I was sort of joined, I don't think there was anyone left when I was in the youth team. I think maybe one lad. You know, it's like when you get to sort of youth team, you have lads coming over from Ireland, you have lads signing from other clubs and stuff like that. There was a couple who were like year above who went in with my youth team and stuff like that. But in my age group, there wasn't many. No, I don't think there was any. I think there may be one who I was with at like under 12s who was in the youth team with me, and that was it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
Yeah, but the year above, like, there was like Connor Townsend, who's at West Brom now. He was year above me. I played with him from sort of under 13, under 14.
Did you play with him much when you were at Scunny?
Yeah, he was at Scunthorpe when I signed. He's still one of my favourite players to play with.
Really?
Just as a fullback, he was just brilliant. He wasn't one of them fullbacks who would clip it in a channel. He always managed to find your feet, and he's a great lad as well. So I'm glad he's doing well.
Brilliant. Just now, obviously, that was your time at Hull. Obviously, we want to go on to your non-league career now, obviously, where you've obviously made the biggest impact. So obviously, you're leaving Hull. Do you want to quickly explain where you went after Hull?
Yeah, so I had a chance to sign at Doncaster actually. I was training there under Dickoff. It's probably a bit of a mistake, to be honest, that I didn't actually sign there. He'd sort of said, look, come back in pre-season, we really like you, we want you to sign. And I ended up sort of saying no, because they was League One and they just signed 2 strikers. I didn't think I was going to play. I ended up signing for Tranmere instead in the conference, but looking back at Doncaster that year, a couple of the young lads who were there ended up playing. Lads like Joe Pugh, Jack Mackay, them sort of young strikers who were there, they ended up playing. I think if I'd have gone in there, I think I'd have played sort of quite regularly. So it was a bit of a mistake, but like I say, I ended up sort of making it worked going Tranmere and then obviously going to Lincoln after that. So
they got given a chance as well, didn't they? The likes of Joe Pugh and that. They do get quite a bit of game time.
Doncaster was good. They had a real good sort of reputation for playing young lads and things like that. It was just, I don't know why, I just had a sort of gut feeling that they brought in, I think it was like Stephen Davis and Andy Williams. I just thought, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, experienced strikers.
I'd been in the 23s for like 3 years. I just wanted to go and play week in, week out.
So obviously then you said you signed for Tranmere.
Yeah.
Obviously that was that National League, yeah, well, conference. How could you kind of assess that standard from obviously playing National League to obviously when you were at Hull in the 23s?
Different. I always say the National League is the hardest league that I've played in, and really? I still think, you look at the teams in it now, like the teams who've gone up this year, Stockport, Grimsby, it's a tough league. There's some really good players in it, and yeah, even I always thought it was just really tough to do well in, because it's not sort of as much football as when you go up into sort of League 2, League 1. They're playing a bit more, especially as a striker. It's quite direct. It's more scrappy. But yeah, it was one of them where I went to Tranmere and I thought I was going to sort of play and be the main man based off pre-season. I'd sort of gone in flying, and then just sort of the first 3 games I didn't kick a ball. I think I scored 10 goals in pre-season and then didn't kick a ball for the first 3 games. It was a bit of a reality check. So yeah, it was a bit of a stop-start year. At Tranmere.
Yeah. Would you kind of say that affected you all, obviously mental, obviously going from 23s at Hull, you probably had a bit of like an incline to go and, right, I'm going to go and smash it now, I'm going to go and play football in non-league, I want to go and make a statement. And obviously going to Tranmere and not kind of it working out for yourself, did that kind of affect you at all? Yeah,
I think I was a bit naive. I went from Hull to Tranmere and I sort of thought, right, well, I'm going to go here, get 30 goals and just get a move again. It was that was sort of my mentality. I just assumed that would happen. Especially our pre-season, when I think I scored like 10 in 6 games or something. I'm thinking I'm going to be flying here, and then it was like the first 3 games I didn't kick a ball, and sort of confidence went a little bit, which I've sort of never really struggled too much with that. And it was a bit of a, all right, maybe I'm missing something. I'm not as good as sort of I think I'm at this stage, and I'm not sort of ready to play in this level. And then when I got in the team was struggling, we was getting beat, and it was just I think it affected me a lot more than I thought confidence wise. And I think when I went out on loan then I sort of needed that clean break away from Tranmere just to get back enjoying my football and get back sort of back in my ability again.
Brilliant. So where did you go from on loan from Tranmere?
So initially I went to Stockport, so they were obviously in the conference, they were Conference North at the time. So they was training twice a week, so I was still training with Tranmere and then playing at Stockport. But brilliant club, loved it there. I did alright there, scored a few goals there on loan. And then they wanted to sign me till the end of the season, but I ended up going to Altrincham, who was in the same league. They was in the Conference Prem then. So it was, like I say, it was good to get back playing and just scoring again more than anything.
Did you enjoy your time at there? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was just frustrating because I went to Altrincham, I was scoring in the conference, and obviously Tranmere was struggling in the conference. They weren't scoring. I'm thinking, well, I'm doing it in the same league here. Like, I'd rather be playing back at Tranmere because obviously it's a massive club, real big potential, but it just didn't work out for some reason. So I'd needed sort of that break at the end of the year to move on and just kickstart my career again.
Brilliant. So is this when the move to Lincoln came then?
Yeah, it was. I left Tranmere. They sort of wanted to offer me a new deal, which I was a bit surprised at because I didn't really play. But then they sort of went past the deadline of when they could have offered me so I could leave on a free. And I ended up speaking with the Cowleys at Lincoln, went in on trial there, and just loved it from minute one really. Just sort of felt at home. I couldn't believe how professional they were and how sort of good they were as a management group. Just I couldn't believe they was managing the conference.
Really?
Yeah. And I just knew it was the club where I wanted to be at to sort of get going again.
Would you say they're the best? Well, it's a bit of an hard question. Would you say they're probably one of the best, obviously, managers that you've played under?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. Even going higher up, in terms of my personal experience, it's just everything you'd want from a management team. There was meticulous with the detail. There was no grey areas. Everyone knew the job. And it frustrates me now when sort of obviously since then I've had numerous managers and you're always comparing it to that sort of level of detail and that. And it was just brilliant. Like everyone knew what they was doing on the pitch. We knew if a team did that, right, we'll do this, and you almost know what's going to happen in the game before it happens. So yeah, I'm not surprised they're doing it as well as they are now.
Really? So obviously, I just want to quickly ask about them actually. How would you kind of compare them against other managers that you've obviously played under? Because obviously in non-league, you'd say that your typical manager is the loud one, obviously barking instructions. How would you kind of compare? Did they have a bit of both? Would you say?
Yeah, Nicky was more of the enforcer of the two in terms of he was a little bit moodier when things were going wrong. Danny was always really positive all the time. But yeah, it was more just like I say, everyone, there was no grey areas. That's the biggest thing. We go on the pitch and it was almost like, right, when their right back gets the ball, every single person on the pitch knows exactly where you want to be. When we have the ball, this is exactly how we're going to beat the team. This is how we're going to score. And it was just, you'd win the game before you go on the pitch because we knew what they was going to do. We knew all their strengths. We knew what we would do and how we was going to beat them, and it just sort of played out like that. Right. So yeah, it was brilliant.
So obviously you've had probably plenty of highs as well at Lincoln as well, especially one of them being obviously the quarter final. Obviously, what was that experience like? I bet it was.
Yeah, it was good. It was a little bit bittersweet at the time because I was struggling with my knees then. I'd signed back on loan at Lincoln. I was fine, no problems. And then it was after the second game, I just thought my knees are killing it. And then literally that was sort of the start of my trouble with my knees. And yeah, even before the game, obviously we're warming up at the Emirates, there's however many there, and all I'm thinking about is, God, my knees are hurting, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through the game here. I was taking painkillers, ibuprofen, just to get through it, and even after the game I couldn't really walk. So it was brilliant atmosphere, it was brilliant experience. It's a bit of a blur really. I think everyone sort of thinks it's like you're sort of massively aware of it when it's happening. You're just sort of playing a game really. You don't really notice it too much. It's only when you sit back and now I go, oh yeah, that was alright. But at the time you just sort of get on with it. But yeah, it was a brilliant experience. It's a nice one to obviously have on the CV. But yeah, no, it was a good day.
I actually remember seeing a photo of you absolutely cropping is it Gibbs at left back?
Yeah,
that was nailed him.
That was an accumulation of not being able to get near any of them, and my knees hurting. I was just pissed off. I was like, I'm just going to smash someone here. The next person I get near, I'm just going to smash him. I tried to get near the Ozil, or I couldn't touch him. Just every time you got near him, you just passed the ball away. So you don't realise how good they are until you play against them.
Brilliant. So just going on to obviously, like you said, your knees were starting to hurt at this point. Is this kind of where the trouble kind of started with your injury? Because obviously you have struggled with injury throughout your career. Obviously, is this where the trouble kind of started with your knee?
Yeah, it was a different injury actually with my knee to what I ended up retiring with. But I had problems with my tendons in both knees, and it was just, like I say, I was trying everything. And it got to the point where I spoke with the Lincoln manager, obviously Danny Cowley, and we just said, look, I'll just go back to Scunthorpe and just sort of that'll be it now till the end of the season, because I just couldn't train. I was literally like walking in from training, hobbling in agony. I couldn't even sit in the car without being in bits. So yeah, I ended up having a course of injections in each knee. I get about 12 injections in about 4 weeks.
Bloody hell.
And then had the summer off, rehabbing all through the summer, and then went back to Scunthorpe because I was on loan at Lincoln at this point.
Right.
And yeah, that's when obviously the big trouble happened with my knees.
So obviously injury can affect you mentally in so many ways, especially a long term one like that. How did you kind of get over that? Because obviously football was your full-time job, I'm guessing, at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously not being able to play full time, not being able to train, constantly in the physio room, constantly doing your rehab. How did that take a toll on you at all mentally?
Yeah, I was struggling big time. I'd just gone from obviously the 23s at Hull to Tranmere, where I'm thinking my career's sort of struggling here. I'm on the decline. Obviously I'd left Tranmere wondering whether I'm going to get another full-time club, to obviously then go in Lincoln and getting my move back to League One, and we was top of League One. I'm thinking, right, I'm going to be Championship player next year. I'm thinking, right, my career's back on track. To 18 months later, I'm sort of being told I need to sort of find another career. It was tough, really tough. I went to see the surgeon. I'd been out for over a year at this point, and I remember it. I'd had my first operation, and went back for a tidy up in my knee. Right. It was like, oh, just tidy up your meniscus, shouldn't be an issue, and you'll be 3-4 weeks, you'll be back training. This was like March time. I was like, oh, brilliant. And And then woke up from the surgery and I'm thinking, that's sore.
Yeah.
And he came in and he was like, I said, oh, is everything okay? He went, no, I've got bad news. I said, oh, everything okay? And he's gone, he said, no, the first operation hasn't worked. We've done the same one again.
Oh.
So I said, what does that mean? Because I'd already been out for about 7 months at this point. He said, oh, you're going to be another 9 months.
Jeez.
So I'm on my own at this point because the physio situation at Scunthorpe were a bit of a shambles at the time.
All right.
2 had left, and then we had a temporary physio in, and then we had another one in, and it was just, no one really knew what was going on. So I was on my own down in London, and I just burst into tears, like I was crying my eyes out, and then went back to see him, the surgeon, about 3 months later, and that was when he just said, look, I think you need to start looking at other careers. So that was, I was 24, so I was in bits. I didn't know
we were that young.
Yeah, I was, like I say, I was 24. I had no qualifications. I'd done like a bit of coaching badges and stuff like that, but nothing really. I'm sort of, that was it. I just bought my house about a year early. I've got a mortgage to pay. I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So I was struggling. I was lucky. I've got a really good family, but for about 6 months I didn't leave the house. I just sat in the house, didn't want to speak to anyone. I had a girlfriend at the time who I just sort of like sabotaged the relationship just because I was like pissed off with myself and everything. It was just, I just couldn't be around anyone really. I was just that sort of low, and then you just sort of stop trying to feel sorry for yourself and just try and get on with it. So
obviously, before I want to go back onto that subject a minute again, but obviously moving to Scunthorpe as well. Actually, obviously I think they paid a fee of like 50k for you, didn't they, something like that?
Yeah.
Obviously you're thinking, obviously my career's going to get back on track there and stuff like that, but it kind of obviously the same kind of issues kind of happened at Scunthorpe with injuries as well, and obviously it didn't help with obviously the physio situation. So how would you kind of assess your time at Scunthorpe?
Yeah, frustrating. I think the first year I'd been signed when I was flying at Lincoln, and I'd only been at Lincoln about 2.5 months when Scunthorpe bought me, and it was like I say, I couldn't turn it down because I'd gone from being on trial at Lincoln to sort of signing at a League One club like that, thinking my career's over. So it was an opportunity I couldn't really turn down, and just for some reason the gaffer just didn't want to play me. He had his sort of team that he was set on, so it was a bit like I'd just got back where I wanted to be and then I'd sort of start again. So it was frustrating, and then that's obviously when the injuries started, when I went back to Lincoln at the end of the season on loan. So frustrating, but I love my time at Scunthorpe. The lads were brilliant. It was the best dressing room I've ever been in. The lads were brilliant. Training was really good as well. The sessions that they put on were really good. So it was good. It was just everything was there apart from me playing. That was the only thing that sort of didn't happen. But I enjoyed it there, I must say.
I do remember, obviously, I think your time when you were there as well, they were actually really successful, am I right?
Yeah.
So obviously, was you there, obviously, when they had the likes of, obviously, Dwayne Holmes and all them, so obviously they did have a very, very strong squad at this point, so it must have been hard for you, obviously, to break in.
Yeah, the 2 years I was there, we was top of League One the first year, all the year, and then we finished third. I think Sheffield and Bolton went up, we got beat in the playoffs, and then the second year again, we was in the top 2 most of the year, and then we got beat in the playoffs again the second year. But we had, I think our 11 went through it the other day. There's about 8 of them playing Championship or higher now. It was ridiculous, the team we had for that level, and we should have gone up.
Obviously, you look at where Scunthorpe are now as well. Obviously, there's been a bit of turmoil, hasn't there, at the minute. Obviously, now into National League as well. Knowing where the club was, knowing where it is now, how would you kind of assess that?
I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah.
I do. I think they're in big trouble. I hope not, because there's some really good people there, but I just don't see the investment potential. There's no stadium really. The stadium needs knocking down. There's no training ground. There's no player assets to sell. I just don't see them getting back up to where they want to be in the next few years. I think they'll struggle this year in the conference, and I really hope they get back in the Football League, but I just don't see it. I think it'll be a case of a bit like York, where they'll
might go down again.
They'll potter around on league for a little bit, and then it's going to take someone to come in who I think more loves the club rather than the business side of it, and just take it over and invest some money in it.
Definitely. Just going back on to obviously the topic that we were on a minute ago, obviously about the injury. Obviously, like you said, a tough point in your life as well. But this is kind of where things started to kind of go up a bit. Obviously, you started your own business, the massage. Is it JGM Massage Therapy? You've started your business. Obviously as well, we'll get onto this in a minute, but obviously started playing for the likes of Belper, Frickley, and things started to look up a bit again, didn't they? Obviously, do you want to quickly talk about obviously the start of your started off, because you had to look for different a job and stuff like that, and you started obviously the. Do you want to quickly talk about that?
Yeah, so I started when I obviously finished there, and I signed at Boston for a year, which was a bit of a shambles at the time there, just because I wasn't fit. It was sort of, I didn't really get on with the manager, but I don't really hold any grudges. I wasn't fit at that time. My knee was still knackered. I couldn't run. And then I started my physio degree. The PFA did like a part-time physio degree at Salford, which I've got my graduation on Wednesday tomorrow. So that's been 4 years now when I started that. So I just started playing non-league and then set up my own clinic on the side of it. So I just thought, I can't sit and feel sorry for myself. I've got to try and make something. I've got bills to pay, I've got a mortgage to pay, and like I say, if I don't do it, no one else is going to do it for me. So I need to just try and get my life turned around again. Now, obviously, I've had a bit of a shit time with that, but no one feels sorry for you, do they? Everyone goes, "Oh, unlucky, I'm gutted for you," and then that's it. The next week, no one cares anymore. So you've just got to sort of do all you can and try and get your feet back on it. So I just started playing non-league. I can only sort of train once a week now with my knee, so as long as I sort of look after it and that, I can still play to some extent.
So obviously, just quickly on your career as well, on the massage therapy, I think personally it takes a lot of bollocks to obviously go and start your own business in some essence, because you could have just gone obviously the route that many people go down when they get an injury, just find a job, work for someone else, but you kind of decided to set up your own thing in something that you'd say that you're passionate in, wouldn't you? Obviously sport, obviously injuries like the back of your hand now because you've been through them. It does take a lot of bollocks, I think, in some way to go and start your own business. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it was just something that I thought, if I don't sort of jump in two-footed in it, I've always tried to just go in two-footed and sort of think you'll find your feet when you do it. And I didn't want to sort of just get a job. I see too many lads who come out of non-league or like football league, who drop down, who are really good players, and they'll just get a job they hate, they don't like, and I always see them in the moaning about it, saying, "Oh, work shit, this." And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to try and find something that I could still enjoy as a job and still passionate about. And obviously with physio in now I've got my degree, I'm working in sport as well, so it's sort of back in the environment that I'm comfortable in to some capacity.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, loving it, I am. I still find it difficult at times. I'm working at Doncaster Rovers working with the first team lads there, but I do find it difficult at times, especially when I'm watching them train and watching them play and stuff, and thinking, well, I should be playing, because the lads who I've played against and played with, some of them, I'm watching them play five-a-sides every day and team meetings, and I just want to play with them. But it's like I say, it happens to every player at some point. It just happened earlier for me.
I just wanted to obviously quickly talk about obviously non-league now. So obviously moving on from obviously your job side of it. Obviously you've recently had a good season at Belper. Obviously you moved over to Stamford, am I right, after that? But obviously you had a really good season at Belper. You were flying. You scored, I think, around about 22 goals or so, I think. Maybe probably more in cup competitions. Do you want to quickly talk about your time at Belper? Because it did seem like maybe you found your feet, you were scoring goals. And obviously Belper, in my opinion, is obviously maybe not for yourself, but it is quite a good standard, obviously. Do you want to quickly talk about this different standard from obviously where you've played to how that is? Is it completely different, I bet, innit?
Yeah, it's tough mentally to doing it. You I think at times I sort of have to be careful, because you can come across a little bit moody and a bit sulky at times, but it's more just frustration, I think, at times when I'm playing. It sort of comes out because you're sort of always comparing to either players you've played with before higher up, or you expect a ball passed into a certain, like say you make a run, you expect the ball to come and it doesn't come, and it can just be frustrating where I have times, even now, I had it at the weekend when I was playing, where you just get a little bit frustrated in your circumstances now, and you just think, God, I wish I was playing there, and you have to be careful, because like I say, you're playing at that level now, and it's not detriment to it, 'cause there's some really good players at that level as well, and it's tough, but just from sort of playing where you was to sort of playing at that level now, it can be sometimes tough to get your head around. That's why I think you see a lot of lads who play in the league and then drop down. They just don't play altogether. A lot of them, they'll go, I'll just not play altogether and knock it on there, because they don't enjoy it, and it is tough to get your head around. But like I say, I love it still playing. It's just I have the odd day where I still find it tough, and I have to I have to just try and get on with it and not sulk and whatnot, because it does. You still sit there and think, God, I wish I was still playing in front of a big crowd, or that, playing in sort of like conference or other leagues. Do you know what I mean?
So obviously now quickly on to Stamford. Obviously this is where you are now, playing football. Obviously starting another pre-season. Saw a couple of photos as well of yourself in pre-season. How are you finding it?
Good, yeah. It's good, really good club, Stamford. There's some really good people there. The manager was sort of one of the reasons why I signed there. I really like the manager. He's a top guy and he tries to play football the right way, which is a bit rare sometimes in non-league. He sort of can be quite direct and sort of, especially like I want to try and get on the ball and play. It can be a bit frustrating at times. So yeah, we've lost a couple of good players in the summer who've gone higher up, which I've no doubt they would have done. I'm surprised they've been playing at this level for so long. So we just sort of need to recruit well, and hopefully we'll have a good push this year and try and get promoted.
Brilliant. So I would kind of, would you say the standards quite different from Belper to Stamford?
No, well, it was the same league. It was the same league. Yeah, they actually beat us in the playoffs last year. It was just one of them games when we got beat by him. Everything went wrong.
Did you get a bit of stick?
Yeah.
Did you?
I expected that. But yeah, one of the lads missed the penalty. We had a man sent off after like 30 minutes. We hit the post after 15 seconds. It was just one of them games. So, but yeah, no, pleased for them. They're a good club as well. So I'm glad they've done well.
Did you get a bit of stick from the fans? Like?
Yeah, they were giving me a bit, calling me a greedy bastard in game, and that's it. I only moved for money. So, but yeah, it weren't money why I moved, but
yeah. So we're going to go on to something a bit different now. Obviously we've spoke about obviously your time throughout non-league, obviously your injury and stuff like that. So we're going to go on obviously a bit of just talk a bit of some of your memories in non-leagues to kind of finish off, mate. And then I've got some questions that some people have sent in, so we'll answer a few of them to finish. So I want to quickly, obviously you've had plenty of funny stories, like you said, the one at Hull City and the ones at Hull City. So I just want to quickly talk about. I've got 5 questions. I want to quickly, the best football story. I'm going to start with on the pitch.
Best one on the pitch. Oh God. Put me on the spot here. It was on the it was a mix, but it was on the pitch at Tranmere actually. Yeah. It was Christmas Day, and we're training Christmas Day. You can imagine what everyone's like. They're all pissed off because no one wants to be there. Everyone wants to be at home with the family. And we're all doing a circle on the middle of the pitch, rondo or whatever they call it now. We're passing it about and we're all going, where's Mangs? Like Andy Mangs is the assistant at Bristol Rovers now. And next thing he comes running down the turnstiles, bollock naked, just his boots on, starts belly sliding on the middle of the thing and just running around, just his cock flapping about and just trying to smash people. It's fucking brilliant. He was a great lad, Mangs. He's one of the funniest players I played with. He was brilliant.
Was that Christmas Day as well?
Christmas Day, yeah. So everyone was like pissed off and he just come in. Yeah, just running out and just cheered everyone up. And then I think he was running around the pitch doing a warm up of the laps with his cock out, just nothing on, just running around. And then I think there was like a steward, like a woman who's like walked in by accident and seen it, and he's like running off. But yeah, he was great lad.
Was he the assistant gaffer then?
No, he was playing at the time.
Was he playing?
Yeah, he was playing, but he was Joey Barton's best mate.
Right.
So when Barton got the Fleetwood job, he took Mangs with him as assistant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Funny on that. On the training ground.
Well, yeah, that was sort of obviously on the training pitch. On the training ground, pass. I'll come back to that one.
So come back to that.
Yeah, come back to that one.
Right. So we're saying in the dressing room. So obviously, I remember that. Obviously, I've had Youngie and Leesley on before this, and they kind of said, "Oh, I don't know what to say because it's not PG." But I'm going to kind of give you a free pass and say whatever your funny story is in the dressing room.
Well, it was the youth team was the best in the dressing room. It was literally as soon as you finished training, like obviously you wanted to stay out and do extras to get better, and the manager was nailing everyone. You've got to stay out and do extras. You've got to stay out and do extras. But as soon as we finished, everyone sprinted into the changing room because all the gear was in there. Yeah. And if you stayed out, your gear would either be cut up or it'd be put in the shower. I remember the boys, like one of the boys was. He just bought these brand new trainers. They'd been buzzing off. Come in, one of the boys had just snipped them up and just thrown them in the bin. Like paid like 60 quid. Which already in the youth team, like £100 a week. It's massive. But I think we had one of the boys. He was giving me a bit of stick, and he had one of the remember the All Saints t-shirts that everyone used to wear, the graphics. They were like quite thin material, and I can't remember who it was now. One of the boys has gone and just put all the footballs, size 5 footballs, through his sleeve. Just kept putting them in. So he's walked into the thing after he'd been like buzzing off this t-shirt because it sold out, like he couldn't get it. And he come in, he had one sleeve like tight like that, and the other one was like a flare like that, just massive on his arm. So it was just carnage. Like we used to, like one of the lads coming on a bike, and we just like grabbed his bike and put it in the skip.
Yeah.
Then as we was training, we've just seen the bin man coming and grabbing the skip and taking it out. Yeah. So we've all had to chip in and buy him a new bike the next day. But it was just like non-stop.
Well, you saw the bike go.
Yeah, the bike was going down the road. Fucking Binman's door, whatever. He's coming.
Did he not know at the time that he was?
He didn't know, no, but we all did. We was like looking, thinking, oh shit. But obviously we couldn't say anything at the time. We're training, so we had to chip in the next day and buy him a bike.
What was his reaction like when he found?
Oh, he was fuming. He was fuming, yeah. So we just used to stir it like we'd tie someone's like trainer to the roof.
Yeah.
And then I'd like say, oh, just have a feel of it, see if it's tight. And as they'd feel it, I'd take a photo of him and then send it to the lad and be like, mate, I can't believe he's done that to your trainer. And then he'd end up doing his stuff, and it'd just be non-stop all the time.
Would you say that's the funniest time you've had at all? Was that in your career?
Yeah.
Really?
It was, yeah, one of the best stories actually. I'll tell you that on you. It's a good one. It was Connor Townsend, lads at West Brom now, and Liam Cooper, his brother Joe. It was his brother Joe. And the keeper was them three, and we had college every Thursday, and they'd all drive round and get dinner. Yeah. And they used to like go past the college, because we did it at the training ground. They go past the college with all the schoolgirls and then wind the window down and shout at them and just as you do as kids. And we've got back one day and we've like gone to the tutor who's doing our things. Look, tell the fucking lads that he pissed off. You had a phone call from the chairman. So he's gone, right, you three in here now. And he's like gone, oh look, we've had a report from the school, the chairman wants to speak to you later at the training ground, like basically you need to get your story straight, because he's not happy, like fuming. So all them three have like gone, right, we'll all stick together, we'll all fucking say with this, all got a story together. They went, right, no problem. So then the tutor's gone, right, come up to the front and like tell everyone like what's happened one by one. Yeah. So Connor's gone up first and started going, right, well we were driving and it were all Joe, he did it and like just dropped him in it. So then Joe's like, what? Fuck him. So then he started dropping him in it. So one by one they just started digging each other out after. They were like, no, we'll stick together. And then I think they spoke to each other for about a week after that. Just fucking like, obviously we told them then we were taking a piss, but they were fucking brilliant. Just absolutely turned on each other like fucking rats.
Wow, did they get an hammering for that then?
Oh, battered him, yeah, battered him. For, the lads were just taking the piss, like no one cared at the club, but we were just taking piss out of them for weeks and just fucking absolute rats on each other.
That's brilliant. Right, next one, on a pre-season tour. So obviously you spent a bit of time in Austria, or was that quite serious, would you say? Or?
Yeah, to be fair, it was... I'll tell you, it was Neil Bishop, manager at Gainsborough now, so we've like grafted our cocks off all week. We were all absolutely knackered, and it comes to the last night. He's gone, right, you can all have a night out now. So we've gone, right, Buzzy. He said, oh, the gaffer Alexander, he's gone, right, I'll be waiting in reception for you at 1 o'clock. So
what, the next day?
Well, 1 o'clock at just after midnight. Right. So
was he going to go out as well? Like?
No, he was like, we're going to go for a few drinks to staff.
You've got to be in for 1.
Yeah, you've got to be in for 1 o'clock. So he was like, right, okay. So we've gone to this nightclub, and I don't know how we've managed to find a nightclub there, because it was fucking derelict city. And we've gone there and like we're all sat around having a few drinks, all getting lively. And next thing, like one of the young boys, he's like quite a quiet lad, he never really said anything. He started chucking ice cubes about, and like lads are like, eh? So then we're all sat around anyway, and he's picked an ice cube and he's thrown it at Bish, and it's hit Bish on the side of the head and just cut all Bish's head. No. So Bish is like bleeding from here, and Bish is like, who fuck's that? Like proper lost his head. But we're all pissing ourselves thinking we can't tell him it's fucking him, he'll kill him. Next thing he's found out who it is, there's a massive like fucking thing of drinks on the ice bucket of drinks. He's picked it up and gone to launch like fucking 20 beers in it. This young lad nearly had a heart attack, bless him. He's fucking never said it in his life, nicest kid ever. And he's just fucking hit the wrong person with the ice cube and absolutely shitting himself. Honestly, I thought he was going to have a heart attack in the club, bless him.
How old are he then?
19.
Really?
But Bish, like, when Bish turns, it can be quite scary at times.
You can tell, can't you, like, look at him.
He'd be a great lad, Bish, and poor lad, thought we were going to kill him. We've had to like break him up and just fucking sit Bish down all night.
He's quite one of the older ones, isn't he, Bish, as well?
He was like fucking about 50 at that point. Like, he was playing till about 40, wasn't he?
Yeah. Bloody hell. You've got some good stories then, haven't you?
Yeah, a few funny ones.
Did you ever do like, obviously, because I spoke with Leesley after last week, he did a lot of car school. Did you ever because you didn't really play with a lot of people from Donny, did you, like kind of that?
No, we had some good car schools though, like Tranmere was a good car school. There was me, like called James Norwood, Richie Sutton and Martin Riley, there was 4, that were a really good car school. We were just like fucking, we'd go bakery every morning, just eat fucking sausage roll on way to training. it was just non-stop laughing. It was funny. But yeah, I've never really had much of a car at school because, like I say, there's no one really from Donny, so I've always been sort of, especially like at Scunny and stuff like that. I was never really sort of lads from there.
Yeah. How did you kind of find it? I'm wondering to ask this actually, because obviously you spent like quite a lot of time going on loan elsewhere and stuff, and obviously being based in Donny. How did you find it with the travelling? Did you ever have to go and like stay over?
Yeah, so when I played at Tranmere, I lived in Liverpool city centre, which was good. We had a few good nights out there. But yeah, I used to come back as much as I could. So like, if we had Wednesday off, I'd come back Tuesday night, or if we had Sunday off, I'd come back Saturday after a game. But obviously, because I'd travelled to Hull 3 times a week since I was 10, I was sort of used to the travelling. It was second nature to me, really.
Do you find it quite, well, like you said you didn't really find it quite difficult, but obviously driving as well, I find it quite a blag if I'm honest.
I don't mind.
Do you not?
No, it never bothered me. It'd be quite nice because we'd, in the youth team, like lads would get caught out doing stuff every week, so they'd be out in nightclubs and I think one of the lads one week has like gone up to sort of a girl in the club and gone, he was only in the youth team as well, bless him. He's gone, I play for all, like giving it the big and all, let me buy you some champagne. It turned out it was a physio's wife.
No.
Yeah, so like stuff like that, because I was out of the way, you never really like sort of get caught doing anything like that. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's why I was glad to stay out of the way, because they'd go on nights out and always stuff happened, like lads would fall downstairs or they'd get in trouble, and straight away the club would know about it.
That's probably one of the things as well, which is one of the probably worst sides of being a footballer, because you kind of get no freedom, do you, in some way? I bet you kind of found that. Did you ever find that a bit difficult, knowing that obviously when you do go on like I say, on a night out, you've got to be kind of a bit more careful with what you do? Yeah,
I mean, we sort of are coming to the age now, aren't we, with phones all the time. So when I was like youth team, you got away with it. It was like Blackberries then, so they weren't really, people weren't taking, Snapchat weren't about, and Instagram weren't really big, so we was quite lucky. Like some of the stuff that happened then, like wouldn't happen now. But when obviously sort of you're going out and stuff, you can end up obviously in trouble in paper, and there were a few incidents and stuff like that where it happens. So especially, you can't do anything nowadays, can you?
No, you don't get away with it.
No, like we went Manchester with Tranmere on the Christmas do. And I got paid, I think it was like 200 quid to jump in canal.
Did you?
Yeah, jumped in, fucking got out, and then I slipped on all the lime scale and got all that on my back, so I had to get back in as well. So, but like now, like fucking, I'd be on Twitter, I'd be on Instagram like the next day. So, I was glad I had my youth team days when they went on that about.
Just before we get on to obviously the last few things, what would you say your most memorable moment in football is to this day? Because obviously you could say obviously the fact you're playing against Arsenal and stuff like that, but have you kind of got another one as well?
I'd probably say my first ever loan, I went to Gainsborough, and it was just like my first professional goals, like first full-time goals then, and obviously my dad was there, and it was just, I'd probably say that, just because it was like, you sort of, when you're young, you always think, right, I want to play football in front of fans and score, and that was probably like my best moments, the first few goals. Football. I would say so, or maybe the Tranmere, my first few goals for Tranmere, I enjoyed them. I don't really have one. I wouldn't have one that I would stand out and go, that one. I think the Tranmere, my first, because we played Bromley, I scored 2. And I'd not played for about 2 months there, and all my family was there, so that was a really good moment. So I'd probably say one of them.
I just want to quickly talk about as well your shirt as well that you play against Arsenal with, because obviously that was probably one of the best memorabilia that you could get, but you actually auctioned it off, didn't you? I saw this. Do you want to quickly explain about what you did there, because I think that was a really, really nice touch to when I saw it.
Yeah, it was, so like one of my close friends, Alex Cairns, he's at Fleetwood, his brother, he was one of our friends as well, Blake, he died in a car crash when he was 16, bless him. So the family, they're a really close family, they've set up a foundation, Blake Cairns Foundation. So I sort of obviously played in that game, I knew it raised quite a lot of money, so I just auctioned it off after that, because it doesn't bother me, it'll sit in my cupboard and I'll look back on it a few times. I'd rather put the money to good use, so auctioned it off, I think raised about 600 quid for the charity, so it was worth it.
Brilliant, great touch. Right, now we're going to get on some questions that a few people have sent in, which I'm interested to obviously hear your take on. Few people that you know as well, so I'm not. You haven't actually got some stick, to be fair. I'm gonna ask this question, but I'm not gonna say who asked it because I want you to kind of realise. He said best five-a-side keeper he's played with.
Best five-a-side keeper I've played with. Oh no, I bet that'll be Tom Downing. Yeah. He can't now. He's got no wrist.
No, I know he's broke his wrist.
Yeah, he's good. Downham's good. Downham's good at five-a-sides, but he's had 2 ACL injuries and now he can't bend his wrist, so he's useless now.
I think he's back now, to be fair.
Oh, is he back playing now?
I think he might be back now.
Yeah, he's good down now.
He's good at five-a-side.
Yeah.
Would you go with him then?
at goals, yeah, probably, yeah. If I were picking a team, yeah, when he's on it, it's just you can get in his head.
Yeah.
As soon as you score 1 goal past him, his head's gone. And
Is it?
Yeah, his head's gone.
Mentally weak down though.
Yeah, if he's on your team, he's good. Yeah, he's good.
It's the same for his little brother as well, to be fair. Jay Berry 10.
Yes.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I do know him.
Does he miss Bishop Burton Bants?
Yeah, so he was, when I was working as a physio with the 23s at Hull, he was playing there. And he's a really good player. I hope he's at Macclesfield now, playing there. He left Hull and went there, and he's one who should be playing high. So I hope he did really well last year by all accounts. So I hope he gets playing and gets back in the league.
Brilliant. Next one. How did you handle going from a professional footballer to part-time and starting a career? Obviously, we did go on about that quite briefly. Would you want to quickly explain that?
Tough. It's your routine. You're getting fed and watered every day. You go in, your breakfast there, you train, you go home and you get told what to eat, you get told what to do, and you go into part-time and it's like, what do you do? It's like, especially if you haven't got a job in the day, which obviously for me, I didn't go straight into that. I had a couple of months without it, so you sort of wake up in the morning. If you get up at 7 o'clock or you get up at 9 o'clock, does it matter? And you're almost trying to kill time a lot of the time because you've got nothing to do in the day, and it's tough. I can see why a lot of lads really struggle. You've just got to find a routine, find something that you can do in the day, whether that's job, whether that's other things, and just keep busy, I think.
Brilliant. Right, that was off Joe Lee to that one. Next one. Do you enjoy the coaching aspect of it, or can you see yourself never getting into that?
I would love to be a manager. I would love to, but I think I don't enjoy coaching as much. I really love like the tactical side of it and like managing people and things like that. But the actual coaching and taking sessions and that, it doesn't interest me as much as it does some people. Like Joe loves coaching. But yeah, I would love to be a manager. I love sort of setting a team up against another team tactically and going, right, this is how we beat them. But the actual coaching side of it, I'm not as mad for it as probably someone like Joe is. If
maybe like a high non-league side, let's just say Northern Gainsborough, if they kind of came in and said, would you be the assistant manager, would you go with that? Would you take it?
If it was manager, I would definitely, maybe assistant, maybe to start with, who knows? I would love to do it just because I think it's something that I've had experienced good managers. I've seen the best and worst in managers, so I could see what I've liked and what I've not liked, so I think I could implement that on a team. So yeah, potentially.
I reckon. Well, that's interesting. Like you said, that's another thing that you've got to kind of make a pick on between the physio and that.
Yeah, that's
does
the
take
problem.
A lot of your time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
On to the next one then. So we've got 2 more now. He said, which set of fans did you find it quite most intimidating playing against?
Playing against.
Maybe ones that were louder than the other. Obviously said he got some stick from the Belper fans, but I can't imagine that had been that many.
No, intimidating. We played Wrexham played Tranmere when I was at Tranmere on a Tuesday night. That was a real sort of intimidating atmosphere, to be fair. I never find away fans intimidating.
Do you not?
I always find it harder, I think, when home fans turn on you. I always think that's the hardest. I think it can become quite toxic when that's the case. We had it at Tranmere where...
Did you have it quite bad at Tranmere?
Yeah, we'd just gone into the conference, so they was expecting to steamroll the league. We're playing against part-time teams, so it's never that easy. And the fans are booing from 10 minutes in, and they're getting subbed off and they're cheering and things like that. It can be daunting. That's more intimidating, I'd say, than away fans. Away fans never bother me. I've always enjoyed that. I think I love winding away fans up and that sort of thing. But when it's your home fans on you, that can be difficult. So you've just got to try and be brave and keep getting on the ball, but it's tough. I've seen a lot of people crumble under it.
That's actually mentally quite hard to get over.
It is. I think like Joe had it last year where he was getting a bit of stick, and you've just got to be mentally strong. I think he come back next game and scored. I think you've just got to, it's tough, but you've just got to try and sort of like ignore it and just try and do what you would do if there's no crowd.
I mean, how old were you at Tranmere when
I was young. I'd love to go back now with what I know now and
Yeah.
experience it. But I was 22, maybe
That's
21,
young,
22.
young.
But that was my first, obviously, club away from Hull. So
Yeah.
I was still a bit of a kid then, rather than sort of a man.
Right, wow. Obviously that's such a young age to go through like camp
Yeah.
stuff like that, isn't it? The next one, so obviously the last one, he said best player technically you've ever played with.
Tom Kearney.
Really?
Tom Kearney, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
at Fulham, isn't he? Is he?
Yes,
Yeah.
captain at Fulham.
Where did you play with him?
He was at Hull, so he was
yeah.
he was a couple of years older than me, so I played a little bit like youth team, and
Yeah.
I played quite a lot in the reserves with him. But ridiculous.
Really?
He never used his right foot
Yeah.
either. He was all one-footed, but just never give the ball away. Really, really good player.
Brilliant.
Yeah, same definitely.
Right, last one now. I'm going to plant this one actually. Who would you say is the best centre? Well, we will say defender because you kind of played a mixed positions, aren't you, up front, out wide, whatever. Who would you say is the best defender you've played against, where you've had a tough time? Non-league or obviously 23s?
There's one who I ended up playing with, obviously getting a lot of stick at the minute, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
When he was at Sheffield, I played against him in the youth team, and then obviously I played with him at Hull after. Brilliant, really good player.
Really?
He gets a lot of stick. He's top class, honestly.
Could you see him where he is now, if you're honest? Could you see him getting to where he is now, Manchester United captain?
Maybe not, but I always knew he was going to be a top player. Yeah. But he's technically a lot better than everyone realises, and that, and he's a real top kid as well. So I hope he really does well this year. Probably the toughest game I had was a lad who was at Notts Forest, Jamal Lascelles. Who's at, I think he's at Newcastle now. He was just, one of them lads when you're younger who was more developed than everyone else. He was quick, he was strong. I was like a kid playing against a man. He was just sort of strong and just knocking me off the ball. So it was a bit of an eye opener when I think it was like 17. Just like I'm miles off this. I need to sort of get in the gym and strengthen up.
So obviously your playing style because obviously you're technically really good, you'd like it to feet, wouldn't you, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
So we're kind of, how would you say, would they defend like a lot different to now on non-league defenders would you kind of say?
Yeah, I think at that level they just hold the high line and the back pace to catch up. So like these possession teams, like obviously Forest at the time and the 23s and that sort of thing, they'll squeeze you up, and then anything behind, they're that athletic, they can catch up anyway. So whereas in non-league, a lot of the non-league defenders aren't as quick. They're sort of more bigger lads and they're going at it and kick it, so they'll sit a bit deeper, so you can come and get on the ball and turn and stuff. Whereas the lads who I always found it more difficult to play against were the quick centre halves who, even when you're getting behind, they can catch you up. So the higher up you go, I think people like Van Dijk and that, they're rapid. So I don't know how you beat them, because you try and beat them for pace, they'll run you. If you try and strengthen the weights, they're just so athletic now. It's frightening.
It is, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Just quick one, final question. Then obviously with age 28 now. Just going to quickly, how long on average would you say you think you've got left in the game? Obviously it depends on your business side of it and stuff like that, but obviously 28, you kind of, some people say you're coming into your more or less prime. Obviously, like you said, the last 2 seasons you have kicked on. How long would you kind of give yourself, would you say?
I don't know. I'd probably say at least another 2 years. I'd say till I'm 30 minimum, and then I'd just assess with physio in whether I want to go full time into that. I think I'll probably have a decision to make in a couple of years whether I want to come out of football playing and go into sort of the physio side of it, because obviously as a physio, match day is important. So I'm enjoying it now. I'll definitely play this year and probably next year, and then I'll see after that. I don't know. It depends. Like I say, I never know, dear, what's going to happen. I'm just taking it as it is at the minute. I'm enjoying playing still, and my body's touch wood holding up. So I don't want to overdo it with my knee and be at the point where in 5-10 years time I can't walk because I've played a couple of years more than I should have done. So I don't know. We'll see. At the minute, I'm enjoying it.
Do you reckon? Just a final one. Do you reckon if someone offered you a full-time physio role now at a club, would you take it? Would you consider it?
So I would, as long as I could still play. I wouldn't take it at the minute if I had to give up playing. Right. I think you're a long time retired. I think for the sake of another couple of years playing, I'm going to be physio for the next 30 years. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of time to do that. I'm not in a rush to give up playing and then in 5-6 years time go, I wish I were playing now. So I'll still play for the next couple of years. Hopefully I can I'm speaking with Doncaster at the minute about getting a role there full time in the week where I still miss Saturdays and stuff like that. So yeah, fingers crossed things will work out well.
Enjoying the balance at the minute then, yeah?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's good. You get to see different aspects of it, and I'm still involved. Obviously, at Doncaster, seeing like obviously you're at League Two club, you're still doing things properly and involved with lads there. So I'm still getting the banter with all the lads, and obviously playing still. So yeah, no, it's good.
Brilliant. So thanks for your time, Jono. Apologies about obviously what happened at the start. I'm obviously a nightmare. You probably know yourself. Do you know what I mean? Unorganised as usual. But do you know what, mate? I've really enjoyed that. I think. Do you know what, mate? We've probably waffled on for ages, but I think, do you know what I mean, we spoke about a lot there and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? We've gone through loads, so I appreciate you coming on, mate. Do you know what I mean? It takes a lot of bollocks to come on here, and I think Leasley were bricking it. Do you know what I mean? So it took a lot of bollocks, but like I said, I appreciate you coming on, mate. Some fantastic stories there, if I'm honest, mate. So I do appreciate you coming on.
No problem, mate.
Yet to obviously get anyone on next week, but announcement is coming. Thanks again, mate. I appreciate it, and yeah, we'll see you all next week for the next one. Thank you.